I'm 77 years old, and I'm not here to motivate you. I'm not here to impress you. I'm not here to sound wise. I'm here because if someone had said these words to me when I was young, my life would have turned out very differently. If you're young, or even if you're not that young, please listen carefully. What I'm about to tell you isn't comforting, but it's honest, and honesty is far more valuable than comfort. I want you to really absorb this, because it's a lesson that took me a lifetime to learn. This isn't about some grand secret to success. It's about a simple, painful truth that most people only realize when it's far too late. So lean in. Give me just a few minutes of your time. I promise it will be worth it. When I was your age, I believed life would eventually make sense. I was convinced that one day clarity would just arrive like a package I was waiting for. I thought that confidence would come after I achieved something significant, that happiness would be the reward at the end of a long period of struggle. So I waited. I waited to feel ready. I waited for that perfect moment of certainty when all my doubts would disappear. I waited for a sign from the universe, for the right time to start living the life I imagined. And while I was waiting, life just kept moving on without me. The years passed, opportunities came and went, and I was still standing at the starting line, telling myself I wasn't quite prepared. What no one tells you when you're young is this: you will never, ever feel fully ready. There is no magic moment. The people you see who seem so confident and sure of themselves, they're just as scared as you are. The only difference is they're moving forward despite the fear. They're taking action even with that knot in their stomach. I confused waiting with being wise. I thought I was being patient and strategic, but it wasn't wisdom. It was avoidance, plain and simple. Waiting feels safe, doesn't it? It's comfortable. You can justify it so easily. You tell yourself, I'm just being patient, or I'm being responsible. I don't want to rush into things, or even, I'm gathering more information. But waiting has a hidden cost, a price that you don't see yourself paying until much, much later. With every year that you delay, a few things happen. First, you become more comfortable right where you are. Your current situation, even if you don't love it, becomes familiar. It becomes your normal. Second, you slowly start to accept less than you deserve. The dreams you had feel a little too big, a little too unrealistic, so you shrink them down to fit the size of your comfort zone. And finally, you begin to convince yourself that this is just how life is. You start saying things like, well, not everyone can have their dream job, or relationships are just hard. And that, right there, is how dreams die. Not with a big, dramatic failure. Not with a bang. They die quietly, with the slow, creeping comfort of inaction. I didn't fail at my dreams. I just outgrew the courage to even chase them. The waiting didn't protect me. It trapped me. Here's what age finally teaches you, but it often teaches you far too late. It's a lesson learned in hindsight, which is the most painful way to learn. Most of the fears that held you back your entire life, they never actually come true. Most of the things you worried about, the sleepless nights you spent imagining worst-case scenarios, they were almost always exaggerated. And most of the risks you were too afraid to take. The job you didn't apply for, the person you didn't talk to, the trip you didn't go on, they probably would have worked out just fine. In fact, They might have changed your life for the better. But here's the brutal truth. Time doesn't give refunds. You don't get your 20s back. You don't get your energy back. You don't get your chances back. And most painfully, you don't get the people back. The moments you could have shared, the words you could have said, they're gone. At 77, you understand something with absolute clarity. Life rewards action, not intention. Nobody gives you credit for the book you were going to write or the business you were planning to start. And the punishment for inaction doesn't come immediately. It's not a sudden blow. It comes quietly, decades later, in the form of a deep, unshakable regret. If I could sit down with my younger self today, I know exactly what I'd say. I'd look him right in the eye and say, "Stop trying to be perfect. Perfection is a myth. It's just fear wearing a fancy disguise. It's an excuse to never start. Speak up before you feel you have the perfect words. Try that new thing before you feel totally confident. Allow yourself to fail before you feel safe, because safety is an illusion. Say what you feel to the people you love while they can still hear it. Don't let a single day go by where your feelings are left unspoken. Love openly and honestly before your own pride silences you. And most importantly, choose growth over comfort every single time you have the choice. Make that your default setting. Because comfort is addictive. It feels good in the moment, but that addiction is what steals entire lives, one postponed dream at a time. Don't trade your potential for the temporary warmth of the familiar. So, if you're young and you're listening to this, I need you to please understand something very important. You are not late. You haven't missed your chance. But you are not early either. You don't have forever. You are right on time. But that window of opportunity, the one where you have the energy, the health, and the time, it doesn't stay open forever. Whatever it is you're postponing right now, that difficult conversation you keep avoiding, that creative project you've been dreaming about, that dream you keep telling yourself you'll get to later, please hear me. Later is not a guarantee. Later is a fantasy. I'm 77 now. And when I look back, my biggest regrets aren't the things I did wrong. They're not my failures or my mistakes. They are the things I never did at all, the chances I didn't take, the words I never said. Please, don't learn this lesson as late as I did. Thank you for listening.